All right, so getting results for social media management clients. Today, I've helped clients generate over 100 million views for their organic content and gain hundreds of thousands of real followers for their accounts. These are real followers, no bots, no spam accounts, nothing like that. Real people that actually follow them. And we did this without spending any money on ads, without dancing on camera to trending songs, without being inauthentic for the sake of just going viral. Agency owners and freelancers, if you're watching this, take tips, apply them to your client accounts to get them better results. And if you're a business owner looking to grow your or your business's social media following, I'm just being upfront. This video is designed to persuade you into becoming my client. There's no tricks here. I'm going to show you the system that I follow that's proven to work for all of my clients. And at the end of this video, I'll let you know what services I can provide you if you're interested. So here are my case studies. This is the Joe Budden podcast. They've got over 4 million followers across their platforms, and they're one of the most popular hip hop podcasts. The goal for them is to increase their viewership so that they can increase the amount of paid subscribers to their Patreon, obviously for brand deals as well, sponsorships for their podcast. Not only did we increase their average rate of viewership across all social media platforms, but we also doubled their rate of follower growth on Instagram when I took over their short form content editing and changed their short form content style. You can see here before, this is their YouTube Shorts page, but you can see they were barely getting a couple thousand views, sometimes maybe breaking 10,000, past 10,000 views. After working with me and I redesigned the way that they were doing their short form content, they started getting hundreds of thousands of views, many posts going viral, getting millions of views. And it would be very, very strange if a video was not to get at least 10,000, if not 15,000 views. Now for our next case study, we got AA Mint Cards. They got 85,000 followers across all their platforms. They're the top rated sports card shop in America. The goal was to increase their brand awareness and in-store plus online sales. And we helped them build all of their social media pages from the very beginning, full service management. So this is the editing, content strategy. So for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Here is a photo of me and my brother Arun. This is Aaron, this is Mark, the owners of the business. This is our manager, John. This is Juan, some of the guys that work there. They once in a while fly me and my brother out just to help them with some events that they're doing. So it's really awesome. They've been a great client to work with and really enjoyed helping them get to where they are right now and just being a part of that whole journey. This is Jerome Rufin. So he's got over 100,000 followers across all of his platforms. He's one of the fastest growing golf channels on YouTube. And the goal is to funnel his audience into a paid golf app that he's developing right now. And we helped him start from absolutely 0 followers all the way to over 100,000 across his platforms in 6 months. So this is editing long form and short form content. Top 4 most viewed long form videos are mine, and content strategy, assisting in management and editing team training when he needed to get more editors, basically just making sure they know what they're doing and that they're doing their stuff correctly. So about me, this is me. So I've been obsessed with content creation since as early as I can remember. Here's some screen grabs from videos that me and my friends made. We used to make silly comedy skits in 2009. Or starting in 2009. I've been doing this for quite a while now. Now, my parents are immigrants who owned a local restaurant. The business struggled for most of my life, so I tried to figure out how I could use social media to grow the business. Long story short, I had no idea what I was doing. This is kind of when I was in like middle school and high school. Just opened a Facebook page, took pictures, tried to make a few commercials for them. This is what the restaurant looked like on the outside. But learning about digital marketing actually led me to try e-commerce, and I had a few successful products that I was selling using Facebook video ads. Here's an example of kind of what those ads would look like. And COVID happened. Logistic issues were annoying, so I was really only interested in the marketing side of business in the first place. So I decided to become a freelance digital marketer. Since I was new to freelancing, I had no idea what services were in demand, so I offered everything. Website creation, Google ads, Facebook ads, video editing, social media management, graphic design, etc. And I started hiring and training some people to help me take care of the clients since I was all over the place. And here's just one example of a landing page that I made when I was offering website design services. I no longer offer those services, as you can tell, as you can see here, why. Made very basic websites, but it got the job done, I guess. So I started getting traction with video editing after helping a client of mine, Jason Shurka, as you can see right here, get his first ever video that reached 1 million views, and all of my other videos that I edited for him consistently got more views compared to the other editors that were on his team. So this is a really big milestone for me. I remember being super excited once we first hit that milestone, and then just consistently started helping clients get millions of views. So since then, I've been laser focused on helping business owners grow their social media audience with strategic organic content. Now, before getting into the details, here's a high-level overview of the strategy that I implement. So the first thing is we need to determine what your community is. Who are you making content for? Next thing is creating a content strategy audit filled with ideas, topics, content formats, etc. Then we want to create and publish content with optimized titles and thumbnails, social media algorithms, share your content with the target demographic if you're doing it correctly. You start getting views, plus followers, plus customers, you analyze your data, and we maintain a community-focused approach. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom into each section to fully explain step by step how the system works. So Determine the community. Community is defined as a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Example is baseball card collectors, people who are interested in hip hop culture and grew up in the 90s, people who enjoy playing and watching golf. And the thing here is we don't want to be too specific or too broad, which is why it's important to research what communities currently exist online and what size they are. The ideal scenario is finding a community with tens of thousands of people, but not many content creators, or if you think you can make better content than the competition. In the case where you can't find this ideal balance, maybe because the niche is too large with too many content creators, then we'll have to find an underserved sector of the community, either in terms of content style or demographic. For example, maybe no one in the community is doing podcast style content, even though it's a trending format across other communities, or maybe most of the content is targeting men and you see an opportunity to make content that's specifically towards women. Okay, so how do we find these communities? What we do is we enter popular search terms on social media platforms and online forums to understand who the current influencers are in the space and to understand what the community enjoys interacting about. Once we have a full understanding of which community you want to make content for, it's time to do a content strategy audit. Now, the content strategy audit is a document that I refer to as the game plan for my clients because that's what it is. Whenever you're going to make creative decisions or need video ideas, you can refer back to the audit and here's what's included in it. We first start off with the market analysis of content creators in your niche that we can take inspiration from to find proof of concept of what the community finds most engaging already. Then we have the suggested upload frequency, taking into consideration what content viewing pattern is most common in my client's niche, as well as what's logistically possible for my client. For some of them, maybe they can only record once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks. Maybe some of them want to record daily, so we take all that into consideration. Then the thumbnail style suggestions for YouTube long form videos and Instagram/TikTok, and popular title formats, also potential editing styles, and a general explanation of how the videos should be edited. Then there's going to be evergreen content formats in their niche. For example, maybe like a green screen reaction videos, street interview videos, really depends on what has proof of concept in their niche. Lastly is the social media page setup. So taking advantage of features such as the story highlights on Instagram, pin posts on TikTok and Instagram, or your YouTube channel's featured video to non-subscribers. The setup is especially important if your goal is to funnel viewers into a service or product you sell. We want to make sure your call to actions are simple and easily located. So in your profile bios, description of your videos, and even pin comments under each one of your videos. Now, next up, what we have is to create and publish content with optimized titles and thumbnails. So creating content in general, most clients like the idea of bulk recording 1 week's worth of content in 1 day. This way, they're able to address any current events that impact their community while also being efficient with their time. Publishing content, we want to distribute your content across all the major platforms. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, Facebook. Even if the platform isn't a perfect match for my client's community, it barely takes any effort to post it. So we put so much effort into making the actual content, we might as well share it with as many potential eyeballs as possible. Optimized titles. Now, by paying attention to trending title styles and using tools like vidIQ, we can find which search terms are in high demand. In general, though, we also need to consider human psychology. Most clients who are new to social media make the mistake of titling their videos as if they're organizing files on their computer, especially podcast clients. Now, I'm sorry, but if nobody knows about your podcast, then starting your video title with the Akash Podcast Episode 1 is not engaging, okay? It doesn't target your community either, and nobody cares about the Akash Podcast because I am not famous. However, let's say inside the podcast, I review a new YouTube algorithm change. So a better title would be, use this YouTube algorithm update to skyrocket your channel. I'm emotion baiting by leaning towards FOMO or fear of missing out, and assuming my community is people who want to grow their YouTube channel, I'm directly targeting them. Now, optimize thumbnails. For thumbnails, it's crucial to pay attention to content trends. As a general rule of thumb, you want the client's face to be clear and large, a few words restating the title or an interesting topic discussed in the video, and most important, you want to make sure these elements are in front of a contrasting background. You don't want everything to be the same color, otherwise it'll all blend in and people won't be able to read the text. Also, keep in mind that most people surf social media on their phones. For the thumbnails, each element should be large enough where someone on their phone can easily see everything as they're scrolling their feed. The next step is social media algorithms are going to share your content with your target demographic if done correctly. Quick disclaimer, this is an extremely simplified explanation of how social media algorithms work, okay? We have 3 pools here that we're using as an example, but like I said, this is a very, very simplified explanation, okay? Let's say we have a small pool, medium pool, and a large pool. Now, your content first gets shared to people who regularly watch your content or have the highest likelihood of watching your content based on shared content viewing patterns. Now, example here is if John recently binge watched videos about Honda Civic maintenance costs, then you publish a video about your experience maintaining a Honda Civic, your video will likely get shared with John. Now, whether he decides to click on it is another thing and watch it, and how long he watches is another thing. But if John clicks on your video and has a high view duration and engages, so he either likes, he comments, he shares, he saves the video, your content now gets shared with a broader audience. And this is the medium pool. So think maybe people who just watch Honda content in general, maybe not specific to maintenance costs, or maybe even cars in general, okay? So they just like watching car content, and then all of a sudden your video about Honda Civics and the maintenance cost gets popped up into their feed. Now, if your video continues to perform well based on average watch duration and engagement, the algorithms share your content with an even broader audience that has very little shared content viewing patterns compared to the small pool. This is when content goes viral and everybody under the sun gets this impression. Impression is just when the content is being put in front of you on the feed. So it doesn't mean that you're actually watching it or clicking on or viewing it. It just means the algorithms decided to pop it up in front of you in their homepage or their For You page or the Explore page, depending on what platform you're on. Now, next we want to analyze data. This is the fun stuff. The view count, the comments, the shares, the click-through rate percentage for thumbnails, for long-form videos, spikes in viewer retention to determine which topics were the most intriguing, and the average watch time. So this will allow us to understand maybe we need to tweak the scripting, maybe it's the editing that's the issue, or maybe the title and thumbnail positioning is not good. For example, maybe the title and thumbnail gives the viewer one idea, but then when they click on it, they don't have a connection to the title and thumbnail that they were expecting. So we want to take all this into consideration and dig deep. Now, the important thing is having enough data to make accurate decisions. So if you're only publishing one video per month that gets 400 views, we're not going to have enough data to make any reasonable decisions. Compare this to making 4 videos per month. 3 videos get 75 views, but maybe one of them gets 175 views. Well, now we have an obvious outlier and can begin trying to figure out what exactly caused this boost in viewership so we can replicate the success. Now, it doesn't mean you necessarily need a higher frequency of content, but if you choose a lower frequency, it'll just take longer to gather a good amount of data. And lastly, maintaining a community-focused approach, okay? To reiterate, community is key to a thriving social media account. Your followers must feel a connection with your brand through the way that you're creating content and interacting with them. Some ways we can do this is responding to comments, Instagram stories showing behind the scenes of the day, polls, and acknowledging comments in your videos. So you made it to the end of this video. If you want my help, these are the services that I offer: video editing, graphic design, mainly for podcasts, talking head videos, short form clips, or thumbnails for YouTube. And for these 2 services, I actually have a 100% money back guarantee if your rate of viewership or follower growth doesn't increase within 60 days. So first thing is weekly growth consulting. This is when I provide you and your team personalized step-by-step directions every week on how to execute your social media content strategy. This includes video titles that I'll give you, thumbnail designs, editing styles, trending video topics, script adjustments. And if you don't currently have a team, I help you build an overseas virtual assistant team. So this could be like social media manager, graphic designers, and video editors, depending on what your needs are. And this way, you're getting a guaranteed winning strategy and directions from me while saving a ton of money by hiring labor overseas. Now, if you are interested in something a little bit more than that, we also have full service management. I take care of everything for you, including the scripting. All you do is record the content that I planned out for you and then send it to me. So thanks for watching this. If you're interested, contact me and we can get started.